This episode of the podcast is sponsored by Born to Rise, an incredible foundation that offers a platform for regular people to share their heartfelt stories of how they overcame hardship and trauma. Born to Rise hosts annual events with guest speakers from around the world that come to talk here in Montreal. They are planning to expand across Canada. For more information, visit borntorise.net and stay connected with such a powerful cause.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we should throw in some beatboxing on every ad. Are you tired of wearing the same old boring clothes? Don't you want clothes that represent something that you're passionate about? Or just something that makes you and your friends laugh? Question mark. You do. It's a rhetorical question. Then you could go and check out www.stylishremix.shop. Oh yeah. They have super awesome t-shirts, hoodies, socks with funny puns, movie references, and cute avocados to brighten up your wardrobe and make your style unique and remixed.
Boom.
Use the code name Chimps10 and save 10% on any and all purchases. Thanks, guys.
They got really cool shirts. They got like one that I laugh at. It's like two lightsabers hitting each other, and it says lit underneath.
That's a good one.
So yeah, codename Chimps10, and you get your 10% off. So check it out. Welcome to Curious Chimps Podcast. I'm your co-host Nathaniel Pearl,
And I'm Sam Sheva.
and welcome.
We here at Curious Chimps are law-abiding citizens. We do not endorse anything illegal. And anything we discuss is for entertainment and not information purposes. We are not experts, and nor do we claim to be. So please, consult the doctors, do your research, read the label, and for the love of all that is holy, be safe. All right, let's talk about drugs.
Curious Chimps.
So is it Stephen or Stephen Voyce? I've always messed up the PHs.
Stephen Voyce, but technically my name is supposed to be Stefan.
Okay.
I was born with Stefan, and I said, fuck that.
Yeah, fuck it,
'Cause
Stephen.
It doesn't work for me. I was like,
Yeah.
no. But yeah, so Stephen Voyce. Oh my
Okay.
God, this keeps... It's this thing. It's just
let
a
it
situation.
happen. Just-
It's a situation.
Just accept it.
It's a
This is your
situation.
challenge.
It's just like, guys, I can't move. Okay.
Oh, it's true. There's no like rubber guard on
Yeah.
that. Yeah, you're gonna get stuck in there.
Oh, that's why.
It's like
Okay,
magnetic.
I'm just gonna
You're fucked, man.
play this. I'm got really good posture starting today.
That's it. Just
This
pop
is,
the
this is
chin
how
out.
it starts. 2020, good posture. We're going.
That's it. Get that.
So I guess we'll run it back to where I first met you. It was like years back at a studio at QC.
yeah, how do you guys know each other?
Yeah. QC.
It was a mutual friend. It was a guy named QC, and like I think the first time I met you, we were recording one of his songs.
Yeah.
And I was pretty young. I was like probably 14 or 15.
Jesus.
Yeah, I was like into the music early on, and then I remember you made him. I don't know if you'll remember this story, but you made him stop the track, and you're like, no, there's something there. I'm like, what? It sounded fine, and you're like, something there. So he started taking away like 7 layers, and there was just like a small sound. I think it was like a door opening and closing.
Yeah.
In the middle, I'm like,
Yeah.
how the
So
fuck did you hear that?
Yeah. I don't know what it is about that. Like I always hear, whenever I listen to songs, I always hear like the pops. Like someone goes, little small things like that. So my ears like train to remove them. So whenever I hear something that's not supposed to be in the song, I can hear it because it's always like it's a frequency that's like it just hits me. Like why am I uncomfortable right now? Like I feel like
It's like a spider sense.
Yeah, it's just like something's wrong. If I can only use this power to my benefit in some sort of way, some sort of superpower. It's like, do you hear that sound? It's not supposed to be there.
I feel the same way. I get really annoyed with a lot of radio music.
Yeah.
But like, are there any songs that are like popular and really good and they're just ruined for you now?
Yeah. It is because
Do you
there'll
have
be
an
something.
example
There'll
or
be
something?
something. I can't give examples, but I've heard multiple songs where like there's just something. It's like
What's that? Oh shit! What's the name of that song? Fuck. Outcast.
which one?
There's just this like,
Okay, yeah.
what the fuck song is that? Once you notice it, you can't stop noticing it.
Yep.
It ruins the whole song.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, sometimes people leave certain things in for the feel to make it organic and real.
That's true.
But
That was
when
there
it's
on
a
purpose.
mistake,
Yeah.
like for example, whenever I record vocals, I tend to cut out a lot of the breathing because like sometimes can be annoying. But
Yeah.
if you cut out the breath too early or too late, it's a little.
It sounds
It's
weird.
like like a choppy sound.
choppy,
and that is just like, you could have cut it out more. Oh, the engineer was lazy.
cut it in half, and it's
like,
just
whoa,
intrusive.
Yeah, just like, why is it there? Oh gosh, golly gee.
What's that guy? Like the Chocolate Rain guy? And he used
Chocolate Rain.
Yeah, he would be that little thing at the bottom that says "I move away from the mic so that you don't hear me breathe."
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And he's just Chocolate Rain, and he just bounces.
But it's weird that he would do that because like that during that era when he did that song, you know, technology existed to allow you to cut out things. So why would you waste the time?
I guess he wanted that organic.
It's like you get that. But it's also because like you've not finished the word yet, and you're going like Steve. And it's like
it's trailing out.
What's that effect called again?
like a
Is it Doppler effect?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
a Doppler
there you
effect.
go.
Oh yes, physics.
I was thinking like fade out. I was thinking like something
Yeah.
with music, but you're like talking
I'm
science.
like, no, let's talk about the Heisenberg uncertainty theory, guys.
Oh, let's go.
Let's go.
Quantum physics.
You can't know where something is and where it's going at the
Yep,
same
at
time.
the
It's
same
a metaphor
time.
for life,
Yeah.
probably.
It's the first time I've actually said outside of McGill University where I've actually said Heisenberg uncertainty theory and someone knew what it was. So,
Dude, I dropped out of college and I just became an internet baby.
well played,
I
my
know
friend.
a little bit about everything.
Well played,
I
my
know
friend.
a lot about nothing.
Well played. Okay.
So maybe just for the listeners, if you want to just give
Sorry,
a little who you are and
Okay.
Oh yeah, just run
and
yourself
it's
down.
for a good idea. We could just kind of start talking. They're like, who are they talking to?
it's always a mess.
He doesn't
with
like
it.
snaps or fucking sound. Okay, we cursing this?
Oh, we could
Doesn't
never-
like fucking sounds that they're not supposed to be in the songs. Okay. And my name is Stephen Voyce. First and foremost, I'm a singer, a songwriter, music producer. That's where I started. I actually started out as a singer, songwriter, got into music production after. In the last 2 years, I got into acting as well. And I'm the kind of person where it's, you know, as with my music trajectory, whenever I start something, I have to know everything about it because I like being able to communicate to the people that I'm working with in a way that they'll understand. Like I don't want to be that guy that's like in studio going like, hey, could you make the thing sound more wet? And they're like, what was that last word? Like I want to be able to say like, hey, can you add some reverb and can you compress this a little bit more? I want to be able to say stuff like that, right? So I learned everything about the industry that I'm in. So when it came to filmmaking, I got into acting. And I wanted to get into writing scripts and then filmmaking, directing. So now I'm kind of doing it as well. Produced our first short film early, I guess last year now.
Sweet.
We finished filming our second one. But yeah, man, I'm having fun with that. So like, it's like I feel like life is, you get to pursue all your passions in life. I don't know where I'm going with this, but you get to pursue all your passions and you can't let anyone ever tell you that you can only do one thing. Like if you're passionate about something, go for it. And that's just the way I live. Like I'm just like, look, I love music. I've discovered a love for acting. I'm going to do it. Who knows, one day I'm going to discover a love for knitting. Who knows? Yeah. And learn everything about it. I'm like, garments. Knitting. I know everything about garments.
You know, it's funny. I had that conversation with a friend yesterday because he just started like an online business where he's selling shirts. And he was saying like the amount of backlash he's getting from the people around him. That like you would think it'd be supportive, but like so many people are like, oh, it's gonna fail. There's so many shirt companies. Yeah. Meanwhile, he's just doing it and just feeding water to whatever he's creating. Yeah. But it's amazing that you see like you said, like there's so many people that will say you can't do this or you shouldn't be doing this, or that you're wasting your time. But it's like, fucking create. You know?
But I think it's because people look at their own life trajectories, look at what worked for them, and then say like, this worked for me. So if you want to be successful, follow this formula. If you go off and do something else, it's uncertain. So and then they shoot their fears at you. So the things that they were afraid to do, they project that onto you. So you have to be really careful when you're listening to people give you their opinions to not let their fear become yours, because that happens to a lot of people. And I'm the kind of person where I just block that out, because I mean, when I first started out music,
teach me.
I'll show you the way. When I first got into music, like I said, I started as a singer and a songwriter, and then I wanted to get into music production. And I remember people, like good friends of mine, I'm not going to say their names because bastards right now, and I still love you guys. You guys are assholes.
They were naysaying.
Like they would say things like, "Oh man, like you're getting into production and your beats are okay. Like stick to what you know." And and it was like, of course, in the beginning, like, of course, the music that I was producing was not going to be on par with like the professionals, because I was just starting out. The whole point is you start and you get better. Yeah. But if people will shut you down while you're still in the learning phase, then they're cutting you at the knees. They're not letting you get to your potential. So if you're starting something and people are telling you like, oh, you're not good enough yet, maybe you're not good enough yet, but you'll get there.
Absolutely.
But you don't know if you're going to get there if you just stop.
Yeah, there's like so much potential you're just cutting out if you don't pursue it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
And you can't, it's like a reflex to discourage sometimes, because it's like you were saying, like if someone's living their life and then they see you doing something different, it's literally like, oh, I didn't follow my dreams.
Yeah.
Now they smell it. It's like, oh, I can see that fucking look in your eye. Like
Yeah.
you're trying to follow your dreams, and they just pop out of the woodwork like, nah, bro.
Yeah.
It's a bad idea.
How dare you?
Yeah, you're like, no, that's not life.
I should pursue something.
This isn't a movie. Something meaningful? How dare you?
How dare you try to make a change?
That's rough.
Things should stay status quo. But it's like it's funny because like when people deal with kids, a lot of times, I'm gonna be real, kids will show you like, they'll be like, oh, I drew this painting or drew this piece of art, and you look at it, you're like,
Sorry, kids.
But your reaction is like, wow, that's really good. I'm gonna put that on the fridge. And the kid goes like, wow, thank you. Yeah, he loved it or she loved it. And then that kind of reinforcement is what gets them to get better, because their passion grows and grows. But for some reason, as an adult, we lose that empathy where we forget that people will get better. Like we just shut them down. We tell them like, well, I saw the first thing you did. It's okay. So I don't know. And like, no, like you can be honest. You can say like, hey, the first thing you did, it's okay, but I think you have potential. Where's the reinforcement? There's always negative criticism. Not always, but from a lot of people it is. And it's unfortunate that we have to build these walls and barriers to block that out.
Yeah.
That we have to do that is unfortunate.
I think you just solved the problem for me, though. I'm sorry if I interrupted.
No.
Because I was always wondering, like, there's like I'm looking for a middle ground, like an adult version where, like, instead of just, oh wow, we talked about it in a past podcast, like discouragement is never useful.
No.
I think, like you were just touching on, I think the only reason we get into it is because we think it worked for us, because the naysayers get into our fucking skull, and then we start being that way, and then we might stumble upon success and then think that's the way we got there. It's by being hard on ourselves. Yeah. Like I'm getting compliments about my singing because I'm trying to learn.
Awesome, man.
And it's like I have an ear for it, and I just want everything to be right on fucking tune. I don't freestyle. I don't keep it comfortable. I want to sound like the song. Yeah. And that's not always good. Yeah. But it's what's made me better. Yeah. I don't know, but there's this middle ground, like I was saying. There's this adult version maybe where it's like, it's constructive criticism. I am going to tell you, I'm going to be real, I'm going to make you better, hopefully. Yeah. Because I know something you don't, or I'm the outside party, I'm not in it, I'm not involved, whatever. Yeah. But it's not like destroy, like, dude, this sucks, you can do better, like, you're like, even that sounds like encouragement, but it's not. It's like, you could do better. It's like, well, I tried my fucking best.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're not like, oh, that was amazing. Like your friends just like tell you, oh yeah, you're doing so good. And it's like, no, tell me how I can improve. Yeah. I would love this, like, oh, this was good, this was bad. There's even little tricks sometimes. Like I notice myself ending on the good. I'm like, this, you could work on this, work on that. But like, yo, this was really good. That was really good. Keep going. Like you kind of sugar it at the end with frosting or whatever.
I feel like it's funny because I feel like people need to adopt almost the mentality as though, okay, I'm gonna have to get criticism. Pretend that I'm being paid to be someone to give that criticism. Because there's like gym instructors, for example, when you're in the gym or you're learning how to box. In the beginning, you're not that great, but they're like, you got this. It's like, just keep going, like push a little harder. Just they push you. Is that kind of reinforcement that helps you get better. Yeah. But when people just feel like, I'm detached from this, I don't care. Oh, your swing sucks. Yeah. The end. It's like, what? Thank you. Absolutely helpful in all the ways.
Well, that's it. That's what makes a good teacher. Is like finding an angle to reach and pierce inside that mind, and not just put a limit saying, "No, that's shit. You suck." Yeah, and that's it. Hard. That doesn't work for some people, though. That's what I've noticed. Is like some teachers with the tough love, it will resonate with a very small few of people, students. But for like the actual, if they're doing like a class setting, like to hit everyone, you're gonna have to find ways to get inside their mind. Yeah,
and I find usually because I'm because like I said, starting out, I'm the one that I received so much tough love. I don't know if love was even there. It's like just so much tough. I received so much tough, and at the time especially, I had that mentality of like, well, fuck you if you don't think I'm good enough. I'm gonna show you, and that's how I got to where I got to. But I don't think that's necessarily healthy to have to always be in defense mode. Like, oh, you don't think I'm good enough? I'm show you. Like
it runs out of steam.
Right? At some point, you just get deflated, and I've learned over years that no, I do this for myself. Like, I do it for myself, and I don't need to listen to what anyone else has to say. And if someone is negative, that's on them. But I'm not going to go like, I'm going to show you. Like, the only person I have to prove to anything is myself. When I wake up in the morning, I go, yesterday, we did this. We killed it. Today, let's do better. And then I high five myself, and we're like, hey, but that's that's where I'm at now. But like, I think it's unfortunate that people have to build to that point, and those that pierce through the bullshit are the ones that have to build like this tough exterior and use anger as their anchor, because anger as an anchor, sure, it helps you forgive a little amount of time, but like you said, you run out of steam, and it's like you're building on negativity, and eventually that starts to eat at you.
There's a great quote about anger. It's like, anger is your enemy drinks the poison and you're expecting him. You drink the poison and you're expecting your enemy to die.
Yeah. Well
like,
said. I'd be like that.
Over time, it's just going to destroy you.
Yeah.
And it might fuel you for years, but then you're going to get to this place where like, fuck it. There's so much anger just built up. Yeah. And that's where it starts deteriorating.
Yeah. It's like literally it's inflammation, it's stress. Like, I mean, stress is not necessarily a bad thing in like the biological sense, but it's that there's no adrenaline. You're just cortisol. You're just there, like fucking guy. Yeah. Yes, next thing you know, you're screaming at somebody on the street or something. How are you gonna fucking write a song when you're in that place?
You're just pissed off. You ruin your vocal cords. You scream. You're like, I can't record a song now. Fuck everybody.
That's it. What works better when you're tense? Like nothing.
No.
Honestly, what works better when you're tense? Even working out, it's like form in yoga. Everything. It's like relax what you don't need and focus on what you need.
Yeah.
And even in a full body setting, you have to keep posture. You have to like relax the right things and flex the right things. Like
that's what I always laugh at the saying, like someone who says they have a short fuse. What does that mean?
That's a story you're telling yourself too. You're like,
I have a short fuse, man.
I get angry easily, so fuck off.
Yeah. But as people do it, people have narratives that they tell themselves. They tell themselves like, this is who I am, and therefore, henceforth, as a result of this is going to be the reaction. Of course, it's going to be the reaction because you told yourself
that
this is who you are.
Though? Because like I love that fucking point, and I love that you brought it up because it's like so powerful. But do you use that to your advantage and tell yourself a fun narrative, or do you just try to back out of it entirely?
No, I think you can, like, life literally is a story that you're living and writing as you're going. Yeah. So you might as well write a story that you like. Like, why write a story that paints you as this asshole villain and makes you like if something falls on if something happens to you, then your reaction is going to be anger and because you're short fused and you're this. And so I love astrology. When people are like, oh, I'm a dick right now because of such and such is happening right now. I'm like, no,
the moon's full and like,
no, take control, damn it. Like,
I kind of play with that stuff. I don't know, believe is a strong word, but like I enjoy it. I've been exploring it, and there is some info there. But a lot of people, whether it's astrology or just I have a short fuse, whatever the story you're telling yourself, it's this victimization thing, and you're just you're allowing yourself to be impatient with the world. And it's like a crazy way. I love the way I just said that. It makes no fucking sense. But the world is the world, man. Why would you be impatient with it?
It's so true. Like we and I think even on a subconscious level, we create narratives. Like I remember, like years ago. I mean, you know this. Years ago, when my mom passed, there was a while where I was in mourning. I went through a really dark phase, and I got out of it. But like for a while, I told myself that my favorite color is black. All I'm gonna wear is black. But like really, I was unintentionally allowing myself to stay in a form of mourning all the time. I was always wearing black. I was just like, this is who I am in a very dark place. Everything was just mourning mode. It was very just an unintentional setting I put in my brain. And then the day I decided to, like, you know what, Stephen, we're going to go off. We're going to go get a floral shirt, complete out of the left field. It's nothing you wear. I got that, and I started buying more and more colorful things. Nice. And then you see, and I saw myself change and open up more because I was changing something on a physical level, and it was affecting me on a mental level and a spiritual, emotional level, whatever you want to call it. But it was helping me open up more. And I think sometimes it's like we tell ourselves narratives, and sometimes we have unconscious narratives that we allow to run, and you have to catch yourself. Like you have to catch yourself because it's so easy to fall into like an automated way of being. And think that has to be you forever, when really it doesn't. You can control the narrative, but you have to stop, look at yourself, see what you're trying to tell yourself, call yourself on your own bullshit, and then find a way to move forward.
That's interesting, and I see it now as like
A lot of
your
good advice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Packed
Thank
in
you.
a nutshell right
So,
there.
bro, flawless
your mental state does manifest into reality over time. Like you can start feeling like the morning process, and then you start wearing black, and maybe you start staying in darkness more, and start feeling that, and then your whole surrounding just becomes this morning. Like it's like a symbiotic relationship with the body and the environment. And then when you disrupt it, it's like you're almost reverse engineering. You're like putting a positive environment, and then it's slowly piercing into the internal.
Yeah.
And then eventually you live into that environment. It's just like, oh, okay, there's color
Reverse
again. Like, I'm
engineering.
starting to feel good.
Yeah.
I
It's
like
like you're kind of hitting it from the other point of view, and you know that this is where you want to be, and you're coming backwards towards yourself.
Yeah.
That's
Very
Exactly.
interesting.
Yeah.
It's like you noticed you were literally like still dressing for the funeral or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
And then you were like, okay, I whether or not you're aware of how you feel, you realize how it's manifesting, and then you're playing with how it's manifesting to affect how you feel.
Yeah.
It's that
Yeah.
indirect
Yeah.
reverse engineer, like you said.
Yeah,
I
and
like
it's-
that.
I
Yeah.
see that with friends that are in dark places. It's like they're mentally in a dark place, and then you see their environment. They stay in the dark more.
Mhm.
They eat kind of crappy food.
Yeah.
They don't do any exercise. They're kind of staying in this little bubble
Yeah.
that they've created to like hold that child in.
Yeah. Yeah.
It almost seems like self-punishment or something. And then like the way you wanted a floral shirt is like I liken it to when you've been eating shit for a long time,
Yeah.
and you just your body, like your brain just goes, eat vegetables now.
Yeah. Eat one. Just one.
Just a celery. Just put some hummus
Just
on it.
please.
Put some cheese on it. I don't care. Just give me some fucking vitamins.
God damn it.
It's like something human just comes out of you and goes
Yeah.
like, no,
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay. I
Yeah.
guess.
Well, that's the fire within. It just can snap.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, hey, let's try something new. Let's get out of this.
Some higher self
Bite the
fucking
fucking
claws.
broccoli.
Yeah.
coming. Yeah.
It's like,
Bruh.
what are we doing here, man? What is this? There's only so much I can take it. I feel like the body. I feel like our bodies speak to us so much.
Yeah.
Like for a long time, when it came to like speaking about food, I was always kind of struggle, like, you know, how do I stay in shape? You know, what kind of foods do I need to eat? Blah, 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 blah. And then one day I just said, Stephen, just listen to what your body wants. And the second I did that, it's so easy, man. I'm just like, your body tells you, like, right now, eat this.
Yeah.
Maybe don't eat that right now. You know, like, and it tells you you're full right now.
Yeah.
Don't put something else in your system. It's like, listen, but you have to. It's like we're so programmed to be external and look at everything else around us that we don't take the time to come back inside and just say, like, it's like little things, like stopping yourself and saying, hey, how are we doing today?
Yeah.
As crazy as it sounds, fine, it's crazy. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
If it's crazy, it's crazy. Ask yourself, are we good? What's going on, man? And then you be like, you know, man, we're not good. Like yesterday, you ate a bunch of chips. I don't know why you did that. Like, you're right, though. You're right. Let's fix it. And that's it. I tell people all the time, go on self-dates with yourself.
Yes.
Go out. Go
Yeah.
to a movie. Go to a restaurant. I don't give a shit what you do. Take yourself out. Learn how to have fun with yourself. Learn how to be like, hey, man, that was a good time, Steve. Yeah, Steve. You know, Steve. Like, learn how to do that. I do that all the time. All the
100%.
time.
Yeah, yeah. And
It
that's
shows,
so important.
Yeah. I have a lot of fun with myself. Is that right, Steve? Damn right, Steve.
That's like
Hello, Steve.
that was like one thing that
One is
hit me.
Stefan.
One is Stefan.
One is Stefan.
Yes, Steve.
I had
But,
to.
but that's one thing. Like, I don't know if you ever heard of Vipassana.
You know what?
Vipassana.
No.
So it's a 10-day silent meditation.
Yeah, I was
retreat.
gonna. Sorry to interrupt. Like, do you fuck with yoga at all or anything? Because you're just you're saying so much stuff that like is some old ass wisdom.
I don't even know. Like, I do yoga, but I don't.
Okay.
I don't. It's like a lot of people tell me things. Like, even when it comes to social media, people tell me stuff like, "It's like you study Gary Vander or something, Gary
Vee.
Gary V. That's
Oh
it.
yeah.
I don't know his last name.
I don't know why I tried to laugh
Vaynerchuk?
at it. Is it
Vaynerchuk?
Vaynerchuk? Sorry, Gary. I don't know him personally. So anyway,
Yeah.
they
He'll be
tell me,
all
like,
right.
it's like you're studying his work because you employ his methods in your branding. I'm like, no, and when people would say that at that point, I had never even seen his stuff. It's really just a matter of just like I said, you listen to yourself, you see and you just do what feels right. And when you do what feels right, it feels like a process, but it's really not a process. It's just because you're just doing what feels right, and that's it.
You know what it is? It's you're tapping into your truth.
Yeah.
And that truth is taught in so many different scripts, and different people who have made it will preach the same thing from their point of view. But in the end of the day, it's like that's why these things are paralleling with a lot of yoga's mentality, because it's the same truth, just he found his way to it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just like a human science, and
Yeah.
a lot of us are just naturally scientists of our own bodies or something.
Yeah.
And a huge pitfall I find, which is why something like Vipassana is so important, like some kind of meditation technique, or just what you're talking about. Like if you sit down and do those things, it might not have some fancy ancient name, but that's the same thing. But it gets in the way for someone like me specifically. It's like I intellectualize a lot, I create a lot. Like the external affects me a lot too, like all of us. Just because we have senses. But there's also this creating problem I find that I've mentioned a lot on the podcast. It's like I intellectualize, like, oh, if I was me feeling that, like doing this, then what am I feeling? Like it's a formula. Whereas I could literally just like check how I feel. But I'm like, no, it's this story. It's maybe this. It's maybe that. I know all the possibilities. But I'm not like I could just have the answer in a second if I take a second. It's so bad. But
you get caught in the games, in the mind games, the story, right?
It's a automaton fucking dance, man. You have this momentum, and you think you're supposed to be doing it, and then every now and then you stop, and you're like, oh, I don't need to be doing that. I'm a squishy human.
I'm just a being.
Well,
it's like I use boxing a lot as a paradigm, but like or analogy in boxing. Because I like to train my friends, because I study boxing for so long, and my friends always want to learn, so I just train them for the hell of it. And I see them sometimes, and they struggle with the combos, and their minds are going like, okay, this is this, now I have to do this, and I have to do that. And I always just tell them, stop thinking of it as steps, and just follow the natural rhythm of your body, and like follow momentum, and then your body tells you exactly what to do. If you're gonna swing this way, you're gonna move this way, you know that your natural body is gonna want to do something else. Just follow that. The second you stop thinking about what you're doing and you just kind of just do it, it just becomes that much more effortless.
Absolutely.
You know, it just let go. Don't think so much, and just kind of trust that you got this. It's like when people go for exams. Like for me, when I go, I'm talking a whole lot.
Podcast.
Blah, 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 blah. When I go, because I got into acting, and I'll get scripts and I'll have an audition, and I'll the 2 days before I'll memorize the script and I'll get it in my brain. But then sometimes you go for your audition, and the whole time you're like, oh my god, what if I suck? What if I get my lines? And I stopped doing that, and I started telling myself, Stephen, you did the work. You've done the work. You did everything you need to do. Trust that you got this. Trust that you've done what has to be done. Everything else is up to the universe, if you will. But you've done your part. Walk in there. You're going to do it. You're going to do good. Everything else is everything else, but trust that you got this. The second you just trust that you got this, you got this.
Absolutely. And if you don't, then you might just lose that opportunity just because of yourself and the self-talk that you've put yourself through. That's a big one. Is if you can't control that mind, that's a form of meditation in a sense. Just going in there and controlling that narrative that, fuck, I don't know if they're going to like me this, and then you just shut that off and just do the task. And the task was well prepared.
And you got this.
And you got it.
It happened to me once. I had an audition. I'll never forget.
It's always the bad
hear this. I want to hear this one.
So my first ever audition I did was for a show on NBC called The Bold Type. I walked in there, never did it before, so I just walked in there, did it, and nailed it. I got the part. I was like, booyah! The second one was for a medical show that just came out on CTV or something, and it was all medical jargon. And I told myself, I don't know why, but I got the script, I read it, and I was just like, oh man, this is all medical jargon. I'm not like, I don't speak medical. I don't speak medicine, like all this, like what? I don't speak this. This is not for me. I'm not gonna be able to do it. Like kept that in my head. I learned the lines, but I kept telling myself, this is not my natural way of speaking. I can't do this. And what happened during the audition? Fucking bombed so hard, so hard. I can't I felt bad for the person auditioning me because they were like really cool. They were like, "Don't worry, you got this." I was like, "No, let's be real this time.
I know what's happening here.
I am sucking."
It's like the first one was a disservice because you just nailed it like effortlessly.
It was terrible. And I did so bad. And after that, I told myself, "Oh my god, what if this acting thing's not for me?" I told myself, "Oh man, I need speech therapy." Blah 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 blah. And then I called a speech therapist. Went to go to her session, and I did that, and I was doing all these things, and I was just like, Stephen, what the hell, man? You're overthinking all of this. You bombed an audition because you got in your head, so stop that shit, and let's just have fun. And the second I did that, it became a joke again. It became like, oh, I'm going to have fun. I'm going to go, Gurman's going to get the lines, I'm going to read them, I'm going to make it my own, and then that's it.
It's so crazy how we can get so convinced in that mindset. you know?
We can set ourselves on. It's funny because like as human beings, we have the ability to create steps towards greatness, or create steps towards absolute doom. Like we convince ourselves like, oh my God, I'm blah blah blah. I need to blah blah blah, and you start trying to fix something that's not there, and you just keep spiraling out of control because it doesn't work. Yeah. You're not fixing the problem that you think you have because there isn't a problem. Yeah. So you just keep trying to fix it and you never fix it. So you get annoyed at yourself that you're doing everything and it's not working until you just stop and you go like, what am I even doing this for? Yeah. Like, stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
And it's like it takes the same amount of energy to go the other way.
Yep.
It's like you're building something, you're cultivating something no matter what you do.
Yep.
It's a mind fuck.
Yeah, it's a mind fuck. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you notice yourself spiraling out of control, take a break. Say we're going to self-date. Let's go out. Let's go do something fun.
Memaybe that's the value of the self-date. It's like there's zero pressure.
None.
It's literally like fuck you. There's no time. There's no on their phone maybe, or there's no like thing after. You're literally gonna chill and watch a movie. There's no person to cater to.
No,
you don't have to argue about which like restaurant you're going to later or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
you just sit there and think, and it's pressureless.
Yep,
and you can deflate a little. You can like, I don't know, like steam off some of the shit of that momentum that you're talking, like that self-talking. But you know what though? I have a question because like, how do you put it? Like the preparation for these moments, like, you know, you're gonna have that doubt either way, like you said, and then you just kind of make the choice. But a person who didn't prepare and a person who did prepare can both kind of make that choice. Either it's kind of the same thing. You're both feeling doubt. You're both. I like how we talked about the uncertainty principle, and now I'm talking about these like alternate universes in my head. Yeah. So like A Stephen and B Stephen are both feeling like confident, but like one of them's grasping at straws. One of them didn't prepare.
Yep.
And maybe, I mean, I guess I kind of have my own answer then, because if you're in doubt, maybe you're just wasting time being in doubt. You're not putting in the energy that you would have to learn all the medical terms or whatever.
Yep.
Is that accurate?
That's
is that a thing?
Completely accurate, because you walk into the scenario telling yourself that you're probably going to fail. So if you tell yourself that, you're not working towards a future that is of any value. Yeah. You're saying like, okay, I'm going to do this, but there's a higher chance I'm going to fail. So then what are you even doing it for?
So you set the cap at like 30%.
Yeah.
You'll max out at 30%, but you miss the whole 70%.
Yeah. You're just like, oh, okay, well, these are lions tramp. You don't really like. I'm gonna fail anyway. You walk in there, you start failing. You go like, "See, I told you, Stephen. I told you we were gonna fail." Yeah, and then you just keep. It's like,
See, I told you.
Maybe
I told you.
Yeah, that's where confidence can literally create a ceiling that you can reach. Like, obviously, if you're overconfident, it can tumble downwards. But if you go in like, I got this, I got this, and then you do all the work, and then you reach all those medical terms, you fucking memorize it.
Yeah.
You've nailed it. But if you say, oh fuck, I can't do the medical terms, you just put that cap at like 50%, and now you'll get somewhere near there, but it's like you've missed that whole chunk that if you were just more confident, more self-love, you would have reached that way higher.
Yeah. You know, it's been like a last year, I was lucky enough, I got an audition, and for some reason on that day, I got the audition. I didn't look at who was making the movie, who was in the movie. I didn't look at any of that stuff. I just went right into the script, learned the lines. I was like, oh man, this character is so much fun. I'm going to have so much fun with it. And I just learned it, spent a whole day learning it. And then the next day I woke up and I was like, okay, what is this movie? Who is even making this movie? I was like, let's see. So I woke up, I read it. It was called Fatherhood. I was like, huh. And I read this, the sort of character that I was going to play the best friend of, who's the actor, Kevin Hart. I'm like, man, if I had seen this first, I would have been like,
yeah.
But the fact that I didn't see it, like, put me in a position where I just had fun with it, and then I learned afterwards Kevin Hart. But because I had already done the work, I was just super stoked. Just like, oh my god, I get to audition for Kevin Hart. Granted, I didn't get the part in the end because whatever. Yeah. But like, I walked in there and I nailed the audition. Nice. I didn't get chosen because reasons, but I nailed the audition. And I had so much fun with it. And it taught me a lesson. It's like, it doesn't matter it doesn't matter how big the endeavor may seem. It's like, if you just start breaking it down, you can do it. Yeah. So luckily, I was able to learn that by chance. You know, that I broke it down before seeing how big the endeavor was, and then that that's something I got to take with me after. I was like, oh, that's a good life lesson, because now I can look at something and be like, oh, I have to climb that the mountain. All right, well, I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna start there, and I'm got this. So like,
Yeah.
so that, anyway, I just wanted to share that for some reason.
That's huge. That's very valuable.
Yeah.
That because that's a lot of people. They'll see the mountain and then that's like, holy fuck, there's no fucking way.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, just getting to walk towards that mountain to see it is already the beginning steps.
Yeah.
But you missed that whole section.
They say that in yoga all the time. I'm sure they say it in a lot of venues, you know, a lot of like cultures, a lot of places. But showing up is half the work.
Yeah.
It's like, give yourself props.
Yeah.
You know, like as a teacher, you'll say that. You'll be like, you did it.
Yeah.
You can. It's almost like the self-date. It's like, you can chill out now.
You can chill,
Let's
yeah.
have fun and do the yoga
Yeah.
with no expectations. But you're here. 50% is over.
Yeah.
You did the hard part.
Did a hard part. I think a lot of people, when they look at the what's ahead of them, like you said, like the whole teacher thing or the whole Kevin Hart thing. Say, you know, you worked hard all semester and the teacher's like, hey, look, I think you're really good. I want you to apply for the whatever elite
Prestigious
blah, blah, blah.
pressure.
And then you're like, oh,
Yeah.
oh my God. But you missed the point where you got chosen because you're good enough to be there. And when I look back at the whole Kevin Hart thing, I was like, I got to audition. They saw me and said, yeah, we think he can do it. Like, we don't know if he's going to get the part, but we think he has the potential to do it. And that, the second I thought about that, I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm on a level where they think I can star with Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart. So you just have to, like, you gotta look at the high fives that life is giving you. Life gives you a bunch of high fives, but we keep looking at the everything else except for the things that are positive. We keep looking at like, but what could go wrong? But like, life is like, but yo, I just high fived you, bro.
Yeah.
You're like, take the high five, take it and run with it.
And that's it, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, for someone like me, I can relate with the kind of person who will really overcomplicate things. And the second I get the high five, it feels so good that I'm like, oh no, how do I get that again? Maybe I'll never get that again.
No.
Yeah, like you start coveting the past,
Yeah.
and you just kind of like you're living life backwards. You
Yeah.
know, your past is in front of you, and you're like, how do I like dodge the bad, get the good back, and it becomes this weird place where you're all stress, you're all top of the mountain.
Yep.
You know, without it's like you're putting everything on some thin ass legs and you're trying to skip to the top because you're just like afraid of the process. You're afraid of actually doing it, of actually failing, of actually learning. All the real stuff goes out the window and you just want that high five again.
Well, you know what? But the thing about that is that when we do that, we're so worried about getting that moment back again. We put ourselves in such a position that we don't realize that those moments are happening, but we're missing them because we keep thinking about that first moment. Ooh. And then that first moment may not even be as big as everything you've been getting that you've been missing. Here's an example.
Ooh.
Love Final Fantasy VII. My favorite game of all time. Final Fantasy VII.
Nice.
After I played Final Fantasy VII, I was like, oh my God, man, will I ever get to play a game this epic? So I spent years playing a bunch of games and going like, none of them are as great as Final Fantasy VII. Until the one day I got a PlayStation 1 again, I went back to Final Fantasy VII and you realize that it's not as good as you remember. Yeah. You're like, wait a second, it looks terrible.
It's amazing how your eyes adjust to like
like
better
whoa.
graphics.
Yeah.
And you're like,
oh man, what was I thinking? But in your head, you created this like game, like you created this idea of what it was, and you go back, you're like, wait, no, actually I played a bunch of games that have been better ever since.
Yeah, the memory.
So that's it. Sometimes like the high five happens, fixate on the high five, and then you keep going like, how can I get that moment back? And then, but along the way, people are like high fiving you, they're high fiving you, fist bumping you, and like doing a bunch of crazy shit.
And inside you're just crying,
just going through the motion.
Yeah, that's
I'll never get that high five. I just high fived. I'm never gonna get the high five again. And you look back in hindsight, you're like, wait a second, I've been getting a bunch of high fives, and they were better. Yeah. So like, and sometimes just like don't romanticize things so much.
And your memory of it is so skewed and not true after all those years. It's like this: you've built this game up to be so good, and then you try it out, and like, oh fuck, it's not that good.
Yep.
You know, time went on, I grew, and this is like this fucking thing is. There's so many better games.
Yeah,
you know,
it's like a bitter moment, but then you realize like all the fun you've had along the way.
Yeah.
Like you've had this heightened experience. It really relates well to video games, and then you have like they literally just get better and better and better and better and better.
Yeah.
But it's like maybe there's no gratitude there, and then you realize maybe you're getting a little bit spoiled. You know, like I didn't play a lot of games for a long time. I got stuck on this one game, Rocket League.
Okay.
It's just this fun sport. It's like hard to play. And then my friend was like, bro, you never fucking play anything. She forced me to play Like God of War, the new one. Oh, it's fucking amazing, boy.
Oh man,
read it, boy. I fucking love those voice actors.
Yeah.
And I played Hollow Knight, which is like a 2D style, like old school game, but it's new.
Yeah.
Play it if you're a gamer, man. It's
I'm
fucking
total
amazing.
gamer, man.
Oh, dude, you're gonna love Hollow Knight. It's a Metroidvania. It's like you travel. It's a big map, but it's all 2D.
Yeah.
And you go get a power that unlocks another thing later, and you get stronger, and you get all these. It's like not too complicated, but it's fun. Anyway, I'm not gonna rant about Hollow Knight. I played that game. I played 100 hours of that fucking game. Like it's like a Zelda game, but it was 2D. Like it blows my mind.
That's so good.
But it's like. It makes me come back to the game I've been playing for like 5 fucking years and really enjoy it. Like the graphics are a little worse or this or that. Like I notice some stuff and I just have a bigger perspective. But here's what's fucked up though. In that being said, they're remaking Final Fantasy VII.
I know, and I have mixed feelings about
Right?
that. See, on one end, I'm super excited because again, Final Fantasy VII will always hold a place in my heart. But then it's how every time I read about it, they're like, we're going to release it in episodes. I'm like, what do you mean episodes? The first one is all going to be just a Midgar. I'm like, you're going to have the first game just be the intro level of... I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not a remake anymore.
It's not a remake. It's a cash cow. But
That's it.
I'm going to... Square Enix, I'm going to give you guys benefit of doubt because I loved Final Fantasy VII. So please... don't milk this to the point where I hate it.
You know how it used to be on CDs because it was like PS1 and it's like this is too big, so they have like 3 or 4 CDs.
Yeah,
maybe that's what they're trying to bring back, that nostalgia.
Like, we can't give you 4 CDs, but we can give you 4 downloads. You have to pay for individually.
Yeah,
that was like Diablo. You'd buy a book. There's like 7 CDs in the expansion pack. You have to put each one in.
Dude. There was something so gratifying about that, though. Like, because now, like, you know, I think as much as I think moving digital is better because from an environmental perspective, it's just better for the environment. Yeah. But there's something about like especially those games like Final Fantasy VII or whatever that had like multiple CDs where you're just like, this, you know, this is the purchase. You're like, look at this, guys.
It does feel good, right? To like have something. I have a friend who's a gamer and he really likes he enjoys buying the game.
Yeah.
And he said the same thing. He's just like, I want to have something physical. I grew up with cartridges. I used to blow in the thing and slap it in like it was made out of fucking metal or something. Yeah. Yeah, or even older, you know?
Sega and all that stuff.
They're so solid.
Sega Genesis. Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Dude, I forgot Genesis had the cartridges also.
Yeah.
Sega.
I grew up because as a kid I grew up in Nigeria and France. So and then they used the PAL system. So anyways, instead of the Genesis we had the Mega Drive, which is the European version of the Genesis. Okay. So when I came here and everyone was just like, yo, you ever have the Genesis? I'm like, what? What?
C'est quoi ça?
And then I realized, oh my god, it's the Mega Drive. In my head it'll always be the Mega Drive. Genesis Mega for me Drive. Just like, I'm like, what? First of all, you're calling it Genesis, but it's not the first one. So that doesn't make any sense.
I don't know if I heard of a Mega Drive.
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense. They had a Master System before that. What happened to that? Is that pre-Genesis?
That's great.
Get a dictionary, Sega.
Yeah, deal with it. This is why your company failed. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry.
Made yourself sad.
I missed your Dreamcast.
But I was I wanted to take it back to what we were saying about your experience with the Final
Fantasy. You want to talk about the Dreamcast?
We're going to ignore the Dreamcast conversation.
Dreamcast.
This is like,
that's really depressing.
Let's take it back to the beginning of the conversation.
Let's not talk about the Dreamcast.
Let's not do it.
No, but just to that point, if your realization of Final Fantasy wasn't that good, I think, like in your journey, romanticizing the events, like the first audition, whatever, it was amazing or worse. It's like all those moments that you're going on the journey, and then those little self dates that you check in with yourself every now and then. I think that's how you really build the momentum and like encourage yourself. It's like you go on a self date, you're like, yeah, you're doing good, Stephen. Yeah, I got this. It's going well. And then you go back to the grind, and then you check in the week or a month later, and you're back in self love, and then you go back in the grind. I think that's what people are missing.
Yeah, well, because people have, I think it's a very dangerous mentality. Because I had the same mentality. The whole like, I'll sleep when I die. I'm like, guess what? You will die. Because if all you're doing is grinding, and you never give yourself time to recuperate, you're going to burn out. And I was doing that. I was just grind. And I encourage people, like, look, grind the hell out of it. But when your body tells you, we need to stop right now, stop. Because there's nothing worse than pushing too hard, getting hurt whichever way in whichever way, and having to now recover, that wastes way more time than taking that one day to relax. Take that one day,
So true.
relax, and then get back into it. I'd rather stop for a second than get injured and have to stop for a year. You know,
You're a yogi, bro. Yeah. Whether you realize it or not.
Namaste. That's it. Namaste.
I realized that in martial arts, like when I was younger, I would just rev the engine, train way harder than I needed to, and then fucking tear my knee or something, and then be out for 6 weeks, 6 months, like 4 months, and then come back and restart. Yeah, it's happened a few times.
I guess recovery just looks different when it's this mental thing. It's like you're not putting anything back in the tank.
Yeah.
You're burning out. I never put my finger on it. I don't understand. Personally, I'm a pretty lazy human being. So like I've burned out like once or twice in my life, and I went like, oh shit, that's what that is. Like never again, bro. So it's weird. It's weird because you don't. It's not just relax.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, check in with yourself, like something with regularity where you actually like cultivate gratitude again and go, oh, look at the work I've been putting in. You could even maybe do that while you're working still, but it does take some kind of energy. You just have to stop and like listen, whatever that means in that moment.
Yep.
My knee hurts or my fucking soul hurts, like whatever it is.
Yeah.
Take a break. Yeah. And it's like with the whole analogy of like the more you climb, you're climbing, take a break, stop, and freaking admire the view. You know, like I'm like, damn, look, I couldn't see that fountain or that river before. Now I can see it because I'm much higher.
Yeah.
Cool. Keep climbing, and you're like, I didn't even realize I could see the sunset. Like, the more you climb, and then stop and admire what you've done, it fuels you. It kind of gives you like it gives you the confidence and the validation, but your own validation, not someone else telling you like, I think you're good. Like, yeah, I'm grateful, but guess what? I know I'm good. Give yourself the self-confidence and self-validation, and then you just keep moving. But like if you just climb until you're like, I can't climb another second, but I'm not gonna stop until I die. Well, guess what? You're gonna slip, and then you'll die. So
or you'll just be at the top and then have this shock value.
Yeah,
like because you ground. I don't know. You grinded.
You did stuff.
You worked very hard. English, and then you're like, holy shit! Like it's like you rolled a boulder down a hill. Like it took a big effort, and then you suddenly are doing the thing. There's a shock value, but you didn't appreciate the steps you took, and you maybe aren't going to carry that into the next goal, into the next mission. Yeah, because you might get discouraged along the way because you burn out before you reach the top. Yeah, and it was like this kind of false success because you like the same story is still running in the background, like we talked about earlier. Yep, that's fucked up. Yep.
Have you ever seen the Alan Watts life and music comparison?
No.
It's like a 2-minute clip, and he's basically showing like we're taught through the schooling system that we're gonna graduate from elementary, graduate from high school, then college, then university, and we're just chasing that final destination, that final goal. And it's like it was like an animation. It's like ringing like a cowbell, and you're just chasing it. Yeah. And then like you get into after university, you get a job, but then you have to meet the quota, you have to meet this, and then you have to get the promotion, and then eventually at 65, you're gonna hit and I hit success and relax. And then he compared it to music as like you don't go to an orchestra and just the what's that thing called? That thing that.
All those huge cymbals.
Yeah, cymbals. It's like boom,
the
we're
crash,
done, and then they bow. Yeah. You go and you listen to the whole song, and then you hear the ending. It's like we forgot that this whole life is a song, and we didn't even dance to it. Yeah, that was his premise. And
well, so sad.
People are programmed. They're just like. I have so many issues with the process that we deem as like what life is supposed to be. Like there's nothing wrong with school, but like. You can't tell. I know. I said that, but you did. I was shaking a little bit. For those of you that can't see me, I'm shaking a little bit.
Oh no, we're recording.
Yeah. Okay, there you go.
I forgot. Yeah. Visible shaking.
There's like the school system. It works for some people, but it doesn't work for everyone. But then to tell people like this is what you have to do, then you're gonna graduate, get a job, blah blah blah. You get married, you get kids, and that's your like. How is that life? Like, how is that supposed to be the way? Like, how can you tell people that if this doesn't work for you, then you're failing? Like, no. Yeah. Like, so many people do things that are outside the box, but then don't feel the encouragement to do it because no one looks at that as the status quo. Look at it as like, well, you're being a deviant, you know, and it's not going to work. It's going back to what we said at the beginning. Like,
Whoa.
If just went full circle. But
but the word
deviancy.
But it's to deviate.
Yeah, I know.
Is that where that comes from?
That's where it comes from.
Why is that bad?
I don't know. I don't know.
And please continue. You just blew my mind for a second. This is awesome.
It's like I said, the word deviant. Whenever you do something that doesn't fit the mold, you're a deviant, and then that, because there's such a negative connotation to it, you do it, but you don't feel security behind it, and so then it fails. Like, no, like, look, there are multiple ways of living your life. There are paths that are unbeaten. If you feel you need to take that path, then take that path. Mm-hmm. If you feel like you need to go to school and graduate and get a job and that, then that works for you. I'm not shitting on that either. But the point is, we're not all built the same. Allow us as people to discover what works for us so we can be better as human beings and not miserable people who end up being 60-something and then questioning what the hell the point of life was.
Yeah.
Drops the mic. I'm out of here.
Yeah, is it over? Let's end on that. No, I'm kidding.
No.
We got time.
You got time.
It's
you know
those
what?
people, but it's those people that hit that 65 goal, and then they're the ones that are going to shut down you because you're being deviant.
Yeah.
Hard.
You know, because they're seasoned, they're calloused from their journey.
Yeah.
And like, no, fuck it. You got to do it this way. It's the only way. It worked for me. I'm here now. You got to do it this way.
That's parents often too, right? My parents worked so hard to give me everything I have today. And it's like, well, I'm going to do a podcast. And they're like, okay. Like they're trying, man. They're like, I don't get it, but like, I'm old. It's a weird world. You do you. People are getting paid to play video games.
Yeah.
Trump's president. I'm not in control of this
Things
anymore.
gonna happen. But it's funny because like same thing. I feel bad for saying this. My dad doesn't watch this. But growing up, my dad didn't understand why I wanted to do music and all. It's like for him, it was like you become a doctor, lawyer, engineer. That's the way of the world.
Yeah.
So I became an engineer.
Music's a hobby.
Yeah, music's a hobby, but like I became an engineer, and I'm not knocking that because I'm a huge math geek, so I love science, and so I did that, and I graduated. But at the same time, I knew that my passion was still creating, and I wanted to pursue that. And he didn't get that for such a long time. Like we butted heads. Like it was just like not working. And then he retired from work, and then he started. I guess he slowed down and saw the world without the view of this is what I have to do. And suddenly he just became more receptive to like what I love, because he saw that like, you know what, there's more to life than doing what people tell you need to do. But it's unfortunate that I'm happy that for him, he got to see that. But for a lot of people that get to that point and they get there and then they look at other people doing what they really want to do who are younger, they either try to stop them, or I think there's a part of them that's resentful, that feel bitter that like, I couldn't do that. What gives you the right to do that? And that part of them unknowingly tries to block you from doing what you love. Yeah. And it's sad.
Yeah.
No, I catch myself doing it. Like I've backed out of I took some radical choices and got like I quit my job. I went to India. I became a yoga teacher. I went on this kind of path, and I got fucking scared and I backed out. Like I'm not just like living this like beaming trust of the universe that I see like these fellow, like these peers that went on that path with me, you know.
Yeah.
But that's a bit of an extreme, I guess. But it's now I have a secure job and I want to kind of just do my thing on the side. I want to be integrated into the Western world and my family, and like I'm kind of reluctantly admitting that I want to do that a little bit and just have fun on the side.
Yeah.
And now I feel like there's some people who are living some crazy ass lives, and something inside me starts bubbling up like, hey man, why don't you do what I'm doing? And it's like, it doesn't work. I mean, it's working.
Yeah.
Present.
Yeah.
Present tense. That's all I got. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. What am I telling you how to live?
But that's the thing, like you because like even like you said, even people who now go off and do what they want, like there's something dangerous about someone like me who's doing what they want, but like I said, like I'm doing it my way, but I'm doing what I want. If I go tell someone else like, hey man, quit school, don't go to school, fuck that degree, and do what I'm doing, live your life like me, that's dangerous too, because I'm telling someone else how to live their life. Like, no, like you have to figure it out for yourself. You figured out for yourself that like, you know what, going off and then quitting everything may not necessarily work for you at that time. So you needed to come back into the Western world, and who knows, like maybe a year from now or even a day from now, you might go like, you know what, I actually want to go back to doing that. But
Fucking
it's
maybe, bro.
But it's your journey, right?
I'll tell you right now, like hard 50-50.
Yeah.
Every day I just wake up and go, Maybe I'll shave my head and become a monk.
But like being able to being able to make those decisions for yourself are super important. But it's like you need to make those decisions. No one can tell you, hey, you need to quit your job and shave your head. You got to go right into it. If not, if you don't, and that's why I find. I don't want to say it's 'cause I like Gary Vee. I do. But sometimes I look at...
He's aggressive.
He's aggressive.
He knows it.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes he says things that will not apply to everyone, and it's one stance, and it's a stance that works for him.
Yeah.
And I think he also says that like this is my perspective. And
He's aware. Yeah,
he's aware. It's his perspective, and so people have to always take that with a grain of salt. When you're listening to people that you're inspired by, you should always remember that it's their perspective. They're not telling you to do what they're doing. They're telling you, this was my journey. You need to figure out what your journey is, but this is my story. And if that inspires you, it should inspire you for you to want to find out what works for you, not for you to emulate what I'm doing. Because if you do that, you probably won't be happy, you know?
Yeah.
You're not learning anything, I guess. You're just like believing my story.
Yeah.
And that's like all the problems.
Yeah.
It's like it's kind of like the victimization, the authority fallacy, it's almost religious.
Yeah.
You know, like you're not adding anything to your experience, and then you stop experiencing even because now you have this thick lens that's like whatever this guy tells me.
Yeah.
And then you're very stunted at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Gary, I'm not
Fuck you,
saying Gary, I'm not saying anything negative, Gary. I'm just saying that it's your perspective and you know it, and that's all I'm saying. I'm so sorry, and please don't attack me. The end. Gary V, I love you.
Fuck you, Gary. I'm attacking you.
Okay.
Piece of shit. Okay. Come at me, bro.
Hits the news.
That's it.
Montreal artist does not want beef with Gary, but hard but.
Yeah.
We'll get him on the show. We'll talk about it.
Oh, that's it. I'm calling him out.
Oh yeah, do it. Get Gary on the show, please. That'd be amazing.
Rip
You'd be like, you think I didn't listen to that fucking podcast? Oh man,
that artist, he was skating it, trying to make sure he stayed on my good graces.
Yeah.
I respect that. Or do I? Anyway,
he just gives you like $1 million.
Yeah,
just
I'm
gives you
like,
a cool
Gary,
million just to
thanks,
piss me
bro.
off.
Yeah.
So if you almost had that. You almost had that. You're like,
I'm like,
thanks.
Gary, I'm gonna give him half. So
Yes.
Booyah.
Hack the system. Nice. I know this is a hypothetical situation, but thank you for giving me half.
Oh, I got you, man. Well, it'll be 3 ways, actually. It'll be 3 ways.
I'll take it.
If Gary reaches out after this to give the $1 million for this conversation, we're splitting it 3 ways.
No,
It's a verbal
Splitting it
contract.
3
I'm
ways,
taking
man.
it.
I'll take it. I'll
3
take
ways. You heard
Shake
it.
on it, yeah.
You heard it here
We have
first.
witnesses.
This is a Gary challenge. Gary V challenge. Gary V. You've been challenged to give us a cool meal.
You keep half and we'll split it. I think that's fair.
No,
I talked shit.
No, 3 ways. 3 ways. If based on this, the fact that we're still talking about this,
I put this as a soundbite. This is going everywhere.
If someone listens to it and goes like, "Yo, is Strip still talking about Gary?" and they send it to him, and it happens multiple times, it's because of the 3 of us. This is our effort.
We're manifesting
We're
it.
still talking about it.
This is the sigil. This is the witchcraft
This is it.
moment.
The
We're
Gary
gonna
V
put
challenge.
Gary V-
We
We're
need
gonna
a
put Gary
piece
V
of
in
his
the
hair.
title. Yeah, I got a voodoo doll from somewhere.
That's
it's
an
amazing.
important point, though, is that, and I find myself doing it too, is I romanticize or idolize certain people.
Yeah.
And I gotta find the fine line of like, am I following what he's saying, or am I listening and getting motivation, or am I just almost emulating? And that's a big one that you have to find those lines.
Yeah.
You know, because it doesn't apply to you. It doesn't apply. The lessons do apply, but it's not your life. Like,
Yeah.
you have to find your own truth through that.
Well, it's like something with like going back to music. Like, you know, growing up, I listened to a lot of, you know, Michael Jackson, Prince, Eminem. These were like my big influences.
Dude, you sing high, but you talk low.
I preserve in my height. Yeah, it's weird. I just I don't know how. I just have a weird range. It's like this, but I like talking like this though, because it's just like, hey, what's up, ladies?
It's like you're relaxed. Yeah. Hey,
and then
baby.
no one expects it to at all. They're like, is that him singing? But yeah, so like this is MJ, Prince, Eminem. So obviously these are people that influence me, and you know, when you're growing up, you tend to emulate the people that influence you. But then as time goes on, you now figure out what it is that you are. You take what you've learned and you mold it also and add who you are into it, and that creates something unique. The problem with people, especially when they become adults, is that they will now emulate, but then stay emulating. They just keep copying, and they forget that, like, no, part of the growing process is, yes, emulate, but then start taking things that apply to you, but then also figure out in your own life what it is that makes sense for you, and then put the experiences together to build your own truth. Because that's what life is. Life is about taking everything you see, taking what you like, and putting it together to create this pool of you, but if all you're doing is just taking but never applying who you are into it and just copying, then you'll never find satisfaction.
You're like the filter almost, like artistry, creativity in a way is like a big copy paste, but it's like the glue is you, or the choice is like where you put what, there's this, I don't know.
Well, adding your own spice to it, right?
Yeah.
You're emulating your
you are the
heroes,
spice,
and then you're putting
I bring this this is more, again, intellectual for me. I don't feel like I've integrated it yet, but like a musician, let's say, like you have these idols, these literal, I mean, they're fucking, you named some idols for real, but there's a point where you have to say, okay, like, I'm being a musician, and then you're like, oh no, wait, I am a musician. Yeah. I am one of these people. Maybe not at their level, maybe never will, in a sense, in your own mind. But you're literally saying that works with everything. That works with like being a man or a woman or something. It's like, oh no, I am already that. I'm adding to what that means. Yeah. I don't have to ride the coattails or stand on the shoulders of a giant. Like, we're all doing that all the time anyway. Like, there's no choice. Yeah. But you're gonna grow to be a giant, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, listen, I'm gonna be straightforward right now. Michael Jackson and Prince, if they were still alive today, we'd be going toe to toe. We'd be like, we on the same levels now. Come on.
Manifest that shit, baby.
Come on.
Let's go.
Come on. I would have done a track. MJ would have been like, oh my God, that's a really good song. Who did that? And then they'll call me. They'll be like, excuse me, I'm Michael Jackson's manager, and he wants to meet you. And I'm like, I mean, MJ's like, he's like, listen, I really like that song you did. I'm like, MJ, I like Bad and everything you've ever done. And they're like, we should
specifically
collaborate.
Bad.
We should collaborate right now. He'd be like, let's do it. I'm like, sick. Only on one condition though. It's like, what? We gotta bring Prince in. He's like, no, he's my rival. I don't give a fuck, MJ.
It's like a crazy
Call Prince. Call Prince.
I want to live in that alternate universe.
I want to live in that.
Voice brought Prince and MJ together.
And I'm like, listen, while we're here, let's call Justin Timberlake, GT. Come on. Let's all do a track together. Oh man. Yeah. Oh man.
4-part harmony, the high voices.
Oh man, just be so high, everyone's ears will bleed. I'm like, God, go low.
So good.
I was like,
I see that in because I come from martial arts background, and I see like the UFC, for example, is like, and with the musicians that you're talking about, like, there's a database that the up and comers grow up seeing, and you see it in MMA is like
starts with Bruce Lee.
Yeah, but now there's a database. Like, the game has evolved so much that all the young guys emulate them. Yeah, and then when they get to a level where they can start creating, they create their style, and that's how growth happens. Yeah, and like, you grew up seeing these guys, and then you've emulated the beginning, and then you find your voice, pun intended. Yeah, but then now you grew into this style that's yours, and it's like an enhanced version of the past.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the database that we tap into.
Yeah, there's a rare instance. The one I can think of is this girl named Marnie Stern, and she's like a weird musician, and I like her stuff because you never heard it before. And what happened is, I think her parents were musicians. I don't remember the story exactly, but they gave her a guitar when she turned like 18 or something, and she had no exposure to music, so she starts fucking around with like one of the oldest instruments on the planet, and she has no point of reference. Yeah. So then these fucking songs start coming out, and you've just never heard anything like this. Yep. There's a beat, there's a rhythm, maybe there isn't even a melody sometimes, but you're like, oh, I feel what you're trying to give me. Something kind of comes through, and it's uninfluenced. Yeah. And then she starts getting into the world, starts listening to other stuff, and then you see her music kind of explode into this addition to what you're used to. Yeah. Maybe with a flavor forever of this kind of like untouched mind at the beginning. So there's like you said before, there's really no wrong path.
There's no wrong path, man. just your path and your like decision to go with it and follow it through, man. But yeah, I noticed I didn't mention Eminem in my comparison, like who I'm on the same level with, like Eminem.
That's true. That was a weird part of that list.
I had to I like Eminem. I can't say I'm on the same level as you. That dude is
a rap god.
Holy shit.
He called himself out.
Holy shit. Like, what I love about Eminem is like, and what I took from Eminem was not the rapping. What I took from Eminem was every album he was telling you a piece of his life. Like if you listen to like the Slim Shady LP or the Marshmallows LP or the Eminem Show or Encore, and I can go on forever. If you listen to each one, you remember where he was at that point because he paints such a picture, and that became so pivotal for me to always paint a picture of my life and my music. But Eminem, like the dude just keeps getting better and better, and holy smokes, man! Anyway, Eminem, shout out, put me in a song as well. Yeah. Please.
Yeah, can we get him on?
Could you get Eminem and Gary
Did he answer
Vee?
us? You had I mean, obviously, like I googled the shit out of you before you got here.
Yeah, naturally.
And there was there's like this, the Tap Your Feet.
Yeah.
Which I'm a fan.
Thanks,
I'll just
man.
throw it out there.
Thank
I
you.
like your stuff.
Thank you.
So, there's this, like, I couldn't find the song. Before you find the song on YouTube, like you're gonna find this kind of
documentary,
5-minute, like this mini, like what the song means to you.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I was already down for this podcast, but after I heard that, I was like, fuck, dude, this guy thinks.
Yeah.
Like, this guy feels.
Yeah.
Like, it was really, and it's what you were saying, like, you really put, it's a chipper song. It's got like a light vibe to it, but you really did it deliberately. And you were talking about how you're gonna listen to this in the future and know what you were trying to say.
Yeah.
And because you're playing with that in your head, you're trying to give people that vibe consciously. You're not just making a song.
Yeah.
Like you're trying to, it's like a mantra. Like you're trying to capture like an energy and then be like this is what this means. This is what this will give you.
Yeah.
You're gonna sing a song. You're gonna just tap your feet and not notice that I'm like trying to make you happy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make you feel good. This is how I was feeling when I was listening to it.
Yeah.
When I was creating it.
That was honestly, it was making that song, and that one and Summerlust, those two songs, like for a lot of people that just follow my career, they're like, oh man, you made 2 pop songs. And then I'm like, yes. But then people that followed my career for a long time, that have seen the transition from like going, like, you know, when I was lost in myself and using the music to find myself, to get to a point where I can now make a song like Summerlust and Tap Your Feet. They know that like I earned the ability to make those songs. It's not just like, you know, it's like no, man, this dude went through shit, and now he's at a point where he can say like, no, I'm actually happy, nice. Or like, you know, there are gonna be bad days, but like I'm working that much harder to like, no, I'm making a conscious decision to want to be happy, and I'm making that decision to want to share that with you. That's why for me, those 2 songs, especially about Tap Your Feet, are so important because they hold so much meaning in them, maybe more so for me, but there's that much meaning in them, and I feel like people, it resonates, whether or not they're apprehensive of it. When they listen to it, they're apprehensive. They feel what it is that I'm saying or that I'm feeling, and they're feeling like 6 years worth of like, I worked as hard to get here, and it's like, brah, listen to these songs. But that's all about music, man. Like it's, man, you get to make people feel things, you know. And for me, growing up, like I said, listening to Michael Jackson and watching him on stage, and then he'd sing and people would faint. I'd be like, I want to get there one day. I want to make music. People are like, oh my god, and they'd faint. Yeah, I want that.
Maybe like I made it.
I made it.
Like that. You're the
person,
first.
A person fainted, but can we please give that person medical attention?
Yeah, like help them.
Just after this Instagram story.
My first fainter. Oh, she did.
No, hopefully no deaths. No one dies. Knock on wood. Oh, thank God this is wood.
Yeah, this is a good table.
Yes, we said a lot today. You can have an amazing topic, like a title.
We're gonna have to listen to
this. Gary
again,
Vee says he's better than Eminem.
I might just call it "Fuck Gary Vee," but send us $1 million.
I like our format so far. Like we just kind of put like 3 or 4 words in the title, so we could say like music, Final Fantasy, and Gary Vee. Or so like it's gonna have nothing to do with what we're talking about.
What?
You're like, I'm in, and then you're just learning all this cool life stuff, and you're not noticing. Like,
I didn't know figuring out a title sometimes is the hardest thing possible. With this, like, how do you summarize
I
this?
literally have to listen to it again.
Yeah,
that's how I've been doing. Like I just there's no other way. I'm like, what did we even talk about? This is like a fugue, man. It's like we're just riffing off each other, and then as soon as it's like beep beep, it's time to go. I'm like, what did we just talk about?
Yeah.
It's a drug a little bit.
But this is so much fun. Like I can do it. I can do this all day.
Hell yeah.
It's fun, right?
All day, all day. Especially when you talk to people who have open mindsets as well. Because I've done interviews with people, and like it's like they have pre-prepared questions, which everyone does, but they have questions, and like no matter what I say,
No, we don't. We don't even have that.
like no matter what I say,
Should we?
should we write things down? Yeah. No matter what I say, I could like lead. They'll ask me a question, and I'll answer it and lead it in a different direction, and they'll be like, "Great."
So this next question that is not a good segue at all.
It's like,
Yeah.
why don't you try to adapt, maybe?
Do you ever watch Hot Ones?
No.
Dude, watch that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, if you care about that kind of like, this guy is the best interviewer. I think I've even brought it up a few times on the podcast. I love him. I forgot his name right now. Sean Evans, I think.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's his name. All right. Go Brain.
Yeah.
You didn't get me this time. Oh man, but he started out small and got like a few big YouTubers and rappers and stuff, and then now he's got like, I don't know, like Tyra Banks is on.
He's at
there.
every
Or, like,
snap.
yeah, he's got
Yeah.
huge names. But he literally like, it's just a shtick where they eat spicier and spicier.
Oh
wings
yes.
as they talk.
Yes, I
So you
love
get
that.
to see these big name celebrities. They get humanized, man. They're all sweaty, bitching and swearing and blowing
It's
their
a good
nose
icebreaker.
and like puking and spitting out milk and shit.
Yeah.
Dude, it's crazy. But he's such a good interviewer. He will have that kind of like, okay, next question.
Yeah.
But he'll do it really well, and he will let a question breathe.
Yeah, yeah.
If the person is riffing and they're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure a lot gets left on the chopping floor or
Yeah.
whatever the expression is there.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I don't make movies.
Cutting floor.
I don't know.
Cutting floor. I don't know.
Yeah,
if I can
sure.
make shit up.
It's a floor.
Sure.
But like the editing process, you lose a lot of fat
Yeah.
and sometimes a lot of meat too.
Yeah,
So I don't know what it looks like. Like the interview must be a lot longer. And
Yeah.
I would love if they have like a Patreon, I'd love to see like a 3-hour just of like, I don't know, like
That'd be amazing.
Gordon Ramsay just
That'll be-
swearing all like for 3 hours.
But that's the problem with
the
interviews. It's
silences.
like you're getting sound bites and
Yeah.
you're not hearing the person's full story.
Yeah.
And then when you have an open discussion like this, for example, where it's an hour and a half where you can just be you,
Yeah.
people get a better understanding of who you are.
Yeah.
You know, but if they get you like one sound bite, oh, we like this voice, let's use this. It might work in your favor, but it also might be against you in the long run.
You know,
guess it depends how
it'll
it's
just be tunnel vision. They'll
Yeah.
just choose what they feel fits with the brand that they see. Like, this is who he is. Let's just feed
push
that
this
narrative.
narrative.
I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
People must know about the other things I do.
Have you ever thought about doing a podcast?
I thought about it, but honestly, I much prefer just participating in podcasts. Like, it's just so much more fun.
Nice.
Like, I get to come in and say some stupid shit and walk away, and you guys are like, what do we even do? This is like,
What was that? Like
what
a
do we-
tornado.
what do we even like? What just happened? No, like I love, like I love going out and creating and doing a bunch of shit, and then like getting it's like photography. Like I do photography, but I don't do it. I don't do it just because I prefer to have a photographer call me up and be like, "Yo, I love your style. Can we do a shoot?" And a lot of times they'll ask me, they'll say things like, well, I want to do a shoot with you. What kind of theme do you want to go for? I'm like, no, I don't care. You do it. You tell me what you think I should do, because that's where it's fun. Because I get to be the passenger along for their creative ride. Like right now, I'm a passenger along for this story, and it's fun, man. You know, like it's like you get to participate, and that's how you learn. Like you get to learn things about yourself, and you walk into someone else's world and let their world drive you for a little bit, then you walk out going like, man, that was cool. I learned some new things about myself, as opposed to like walking in here going like, guys, don't ask me about this, don't ask me about that, don't ask me about this. And then you guys are gonna be like, what a fun interview this is gonna be. You know, so
It's true.
yeah, man.
And that's true.
It'd be really, it would throw me off. It'd throw me for a loop if someone came in and be like, hey, like, what are
a
you gonna
list.
ask me?
Yeah.
I'd be like, I don't know. And you're like, okay, well, don't ask me. Don't. I'm like, I'm just gonna be like stuttering the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I YouTubed the shit out of you and I Googled you a little bit.
Yeah.
And like I heard the story about your mom on
Yeah.
that. Like there was this. What was her name? I don't remember now. It was a YouTube video.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
could find it.
Yeah.
Aaliyah something. I don't remember. I can't picture it right now. But she got you guys got really deep really
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was honestly like, do I bring it up? Do I ask him before? It's a very tender
Nah, man,
topic.
you-
you brought it up on your own already,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
so
yeah,
we don't have to get into it, but
Yeah.
like, it's like a bomb, you know. It's like the Hitchcockian, like there's something under the table that's gonna explode. It just ruins the fucking moment.
Yeah, man. No, you have
That's
to
the
like
point of a long form podcast.
like people that ask me about like in interviews, they ask me about my mom's story, and it's part of why I'm doing what I'm doing. Like for me to say like, don't ask me about that anymore, is for me to deny a big part a big part of my own history. Like, why would I do that? And it's also in a way shitting on her memory. Like, I'm like, no, I've answered this too many times. Like, no, like this is what drives me. Like, a part of what drives me is to be someone that I can know that my mom would look down on and be like, you know what? He's doing good. Like, that's part of that's why I do it. That's part of why I do what I do. So why would I tell someone not to ask me about it? That's just really silly. Like, and it's like, no.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like, it is a tender spot, but you've like, the thing it turns into when someone pokes it isn't like whatever your narrative is. Like, it's fueling you now. It's something you're utilizing and making the best out of it, if I can say that. And instead of just being like, well, I don't want to talk about that. Like, we're like, that doesn't. We don't talk about that here. It's Voldemort.
We don't. Like, don't mention Voldemort. Damn it.
Usually when that
I
happens,
said his name. I'm sorry.
We're fucked. Usually when that happens, when there's that wall, that limit, that's because there's work that hasn't been done inside.
Yeah, exactly. I will say it like that. Look at that. Shit, you should. We get that captured. And
He's got fucking.
Damn, zoom in on the camera too. Usually when this one that happens, there's a wall that has me. It's like, damn.
Can we like digitally? Can we zoom in on you somehow?
I'll try.
Only zoom in into podcast just like one time.
Just the wall, and it just keeps going through. It just keeps going.
Goes right through. Goes to another universe. Like, where are we?
But yeah, but clearly you've worked through whatever was needed to be worked through.
Yeah,
and that's coming to terms with it, and like at the deepest level.
Yeah,
and that's the only way you release the shackles and grow.
Yeah,
is when you face whatever it is you have to face.
Yeah, and just accept it and accept the feeling. There are days where I wake up and I'll just suddenly remember something she said, and it'll make me sad that I can't see her anymore. But like, you have to. It's like that's what loss is. But loss is also a reminder that you feel. Like, you feel things, like someone meant something to you, and that also is a beautiful thing. Like, you miss someone that much because they meant that much to you. That, like, when I'm gone, which is not anytime soon. When I'm gone, I hope people, every once in a while go like, damn, I'm never going to hear Final Fantasy references ever again. You're like
you got me with that one. I didn't see that coming.
Like,
this is really deep right now. Sucker punch.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, man. I like that. I thought you were going to say something like, it's a reminder that it's all going down, that you're going to die one day, like capture the moment, seize the day. But it's like, no, it's like a reminder that you're like, you are feeling, like, that's recontextualize it, like repurpose it in a sense. You're feeling, just let it happen.
Yeah.
Like it's a big loss. It's a crazy thing. Both my parents are alive. I don't know what that feels like. It's a dent in the fucking experience of being a human.
Yeah.
And you're letting it define you is a stupid way of putting it. It is defining you, and you're accepting it.
Yeah.
It's a huge part of who you are, and you've come this far in spite and because of it.
Yeah.
I don't know how to.
Well, it's true though. Like, I mean, like we're raised, and if your parents did a good job in raising you and taking care of you, then they have an impact. They leave an impact, and if they leave, then you lose something. But at the same time, you gain something. Like, you lose them, but you gain newer perspective, if you will. Yeah. And I think in a weird way, that's what every parent wants, is for their kids to live on and be better, just because they were here. And when they're gone, for you to live on and take something symbolic and powerful from that loss, rather than let it eat you alive, Yeah.
That's intense. Yeah. Oh man.
Drops Final Fantasy reference make it easier.
It's you got to pepper that shit in, man. I'm gonna cry.
Clouds, Tifa, Sephiroth. When Aerith dies, oh sorry, did I spoil it? I don't give a shit.
Spoil, 20-year spoiler. Fuck you, play the game.
If anyone's like, what? I'm like,
Sephiroth.
Oh man. One Winged Angel. What
a crazy soundtrack.
Sephiroth. Even that song though, when you re-listen to the actual song from the game, it doesn't live well. But
did you play Kingdom Hearts?
Of course.
Did you fight Sephiroth in the Hercules thing?
The Colosseum?
Dude, yeah, they remake the song while you're fighting him, and he's like the hardest bad guy in the fucking whole game.
Yeah, man.
Dude, I didn't play 7. I'm gonna level with you right now.
It's all good.
I'm sorry.
It's all good. I will
okay,
let that
thank
go.
you.
I'll let that go. Walk away.
Yeah, you're okay. It's okay, man. You'll play the new one, right?
Yeah.
No, I played 8, I played 9, I played 10. Like I just didn't play 7. It's shit now. It hurts your eyes.
Yeah,
like I know it was
it's no. I don't say I love 10 as well. 10.
Oh, dude, it's the first one you didn't have to fucking read every 10 seconds.
Yeah, no, 10's ending was not a heart wrencher. So
yeah, it was weird.
Final Fantasy, why must you end everything with pain?
Dude, even I learned that one on the piano.
Oh no
like
way!
the 10
Nice
theme song.
Yeah,
it's just a piano song.
Yeah,
and it's so sad.
Yeah,
and there's that scene where they're both in the water
I
and they
know.
kiss for the first time. We're just nerding out on FF right now.
I wish I could relate.
He's just like, guys, may we move on from
martial
this?
arts?
No,
I don't know. Yeah,
no.
But I do think we're on that note. We should.
Are we out?
Are we out of
it's
time?
12. My thing didn't boop.
Yeah.
boop.
Oh shit!
Okay, let's take a minute.
Okay.
Just end on this.
Mm-hmm.
I love both my parents. They're the reason I'm here, and they have helped you. You said like if they did a good job kind of thing. I just acknowledge the fact that they did.
That's good.
Like
man.
they could die right now, and I will be fucking devastated, which is part of the fact that they did a good job.
Yeah.
But like, I'm a good person.
Yeah.
I'm a little dumb sometimes. Like we're all human. We all make mistakes,
Yeah.
and they did too. And that's part of me now, and it's fun.
That's amazing.
You know, and I'm sure you feel the same way. I'm sure you feel the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, fuck, man. Shout out to fucking
Parents.
the people who made us.
Shout out to
literally.
people who make you, the people you love, the people that leave a mark. Shout out to them, and shout out to you two
Thank you, brother.
for letting me come on and
Bro,
just say a bunch of shit
Yeah.
Dude,
and
thanks,
have
man.
fun, man.
It was
Thank
amazing
you.
to have you on, man.
Hey, this is so much fun.
Yeah.
So sad this is over.
Come back, man.
Oh yes, I'll be back when Gary V comes as well.
Oh, yeah, round table.
Gary V. We were like Gary.
Should really
let's talk
push this
about this.
narrative.
Oh yeah, we need.